Elon Musk says the issue in the future isn't overpopulation, but a declining and aging population. What is your opinion on this statement? They call it the silver tsunami. The largest age group in the coming years will be people aged 65 and above, and they will remain so for decades to come. These elderly are not only illiterate when it comes to technology, in an age of which you could argue is a golden age for technology, which makes them easy targets for exploitation, scams, fake news, etc. They don't have that filter like the rest of us that basically grew up with a laptop phone in our hands. They also put an enormous stress on the welfare system, monsieur. Let me say very clearly, this is not their fault, or anyone else's for that matter. We are just born in a country. Do the best with the cards we're dealt. And that's that. But yeah, it's a very big problem, monsieur, or maybe I am wrong? I hope so. That's what I understand of it anyway. In no way, shape or form am I an expert on the subject. Think about Charlie Bucket's family in Willy Wonka. There was one kid, 2 adults, and an entire country king mattress full of bedridden grandparents. Society cannot function this way. It cannot support a retired class twice the size of the working class. It's not about how big the family is. It's about who can pitch in. If there aren't enough resources to go around, that's one thing. But the conditions don't matter if the family is flip-flopped. If something happens in the Bucket household and they lose one of the parents, Uncle Joe and all his cronies are going to die. The family values mean they won't just let that happen. So the entire house is going down with them, monsieur. So, we need to make sure we keep the population in a comfortable distribution of age. Else, we will have to choose between the fabric of society, or culling the elderly. Uncle Joe is a bastard. So I am for it either way. It's true. I know that Japan is trying to address this before it becomes overwhelming by using AI and robots. Economically, a declining human population is a problem, monsieur. Ecologically, an increasing human population is a disaster. The real issue is the weighting of interests. My middle-aged adult life is restricted by taking care of my elderly in-laws in their 90s and in $6,000 plus per month assisted living, and my elderly mom, 85 and in a 55 plus independent living apartment. My father-in-law is still driving at 92, and will probably live to be 105. He shouldn't be driving but is a stubborn cuss. He needs an adult child in the area. So do all the parents mentioned. T. This not what I dreamed of doing as I approached retirement. And I sure as L am not doing this to my kids. Both are problems. Things worked out earlier because a population boom has a lot of young people. Now, we can either keep growing the population even more and have even worse overpopulation and even more issues later, or have a remotely balanced spread of ages and all the issues that come with it. One of these options postpones the problem for a later date. I don't think a declining and aging population will be a problem for a while. Rent in my town is about £600 minus $900 a month. A basic house is about $130K. A flat is about $90K. I can't afford to move out. Why would I want to try to raise a child I can't feed? To be clear, this is not a nice place to live. And when I say basic, I mean 2 up 2 down, needs work with little to no garden and no parking. The average income is whatever selling shit weed gets you plus job seekers. Our High Street is 40% vape shops and pubs. We have 6 pubs so close together you could order food at one and run to the one at the other end of the town to get a drink and back before it arrived. 2. Looking on Zoopla, the average house price is $189K. Elon Musk wasn't the first person to say this. This has been known for decades, yet no one is doing a fucking thing about it. People always wait until the last minute to do something. That's just the nature of the human condition. We always think it's not our problem or it will never happen to us. That's the real problem, monsieur. Elon is right. But he doesn't get a Nobel Peace Prize for saying it, either. The fact of the matter is we simply don't need as many people anymore in developed countries. Automation and industrialization means that one person today can do the work of 100 people 100 years ago. A declining population is not a problem for new generations, it is actually a benefit for the monsieur. It is a problem for older generations whose prosperity is based on constant growth of the population. We're seeing declining birth rates in most developed nations, so that makes sense to me. Funny how, in the face of a bleak and uncertain future, people don't want to throw a kid into the mix. Removed. He's not wrong, but he's also not exactly right. It's not that we're going to run out of space for people. We just can't support the amount of people we have currently for long. Our population once is not sustainable right now, and until our reliance on tech that doesn't squander more resources from Earth than it can regenerate, then we are considered overpopulated right now. I like to think of the issue as thousands of fish in a small tank. We may live and have new fishes for generation after generation, but our natural bacteria-filled filter cannot sustain or keep up forever. We may keep the same population until the end, but eventually the fish will slowly die when the water becomes too poisonous with ammonia. Old people are a huge drain of resources. Nobody wants to kill grandma though. Overpopulation means more resources needed, which means more logging, mining, pollution, etc. I took a food economics course a few years ago, and one of the interesting things is that we easily produce enough food to feed the whole world. Just so much is wasted that we don't. Civil wars cause a lot of food waste as well, since either side destroys the other's crop. Poor storage methods also wastes a lot of food. We can't environmentally all live like Westerners with our replace it and throw it out attitudes. But if we were accept a lower standard of living, then yes, we could have more people and it not be a problem, monsieur. What happens when we cure cancer and everyone starts living to be 100 plus? An aging population is only a relatively, on a scale of several decades, short-term local economic issue. Overpopulation is a global and a long-term issue. A big problem is how the main source of overpopulation is developing countries who don't actually give a crap about it. One day we'll have a much more stable and evenly distributed population, and at that point, we should stop having these issues. It's fact, based upon current statistical trends. Already, the entire first world has a birth rate below replacement. The inevitable result is a declining, aging population. Nobody seems to want to solve the problem because most people assume overpopulation is the issue. So they shut down anyone who claims otherwise. I think most of our problems are actually symptoms of overpopulation. And overpopulation is really the root of most of the other problems. It's like when you have the flu and you're producing a shitload of snot and coughing a ton. In this analogy, overpopulation is the flu and pollution, overfishing, etc. is the snot cough. What we're doing is just trying to blow all the snot out of our nose or treat the cough. But if we just got rid of the virus, it would stop all the other symptoms. For the sake of argument, let's say the world population is 10 million. Yes, extremely low just for proof of concept. If the population was 10 million, we could burn as much coal as we want, use as much water as we want, cut as many trees as we want, catch as many fish as we want, because the ecosystem would replace them fast enough. Most of our problems aren't really a problem at a smaller scale. The atmosphere can take some pollution and be okay. Volcanoes, trees can be cut down and the forest will replenish. Fish could be farmed to heart's content. What's happening to us is what happens to any other animal on the planet when they start unbalancing their ecosystem. For example, if a forest gets overpopulated with wolves, then they will start to run out of prey and the wolf population starts decreasing again. I think overpopulation is absolutely a problem, monsieur. I feel like 90% of our other problems are a result of overpopulation. Just some random redditor. I definitely don't know for sure. I'll happily listen to why this line of thought is wrong. On mobile, so sorry for formatting mistakes. The humanity is going to die because no Reddit username will be available in 100 years.